Providence, the quote-unquote luckiest team in America. Well, the luck finally ran out, if you can even call it luck. A cold shooting first half for the Friars. Look, they did the Providence thing. I tweeted out shortly after half, Providence is about to Providence. They went on their run. They always make the run. They tied the game. But Kansas did what elite teams do. They responded. When the game was tied after controlling it in the early portion of the game, they immediately went on a 7-0 run. They took command right back, and they kind of coasted from there. It never really got dicey again. Let me ask you this, and T.O. will go to you first on this one. Is Kansas the clear national championship favorite at this point of the tournament?
Oh, man, I think they're the betting favorite. I know we're sponsored by Bet Rivers. I'm not sure if that's the answer or not, but I will say this. If Remy Martin plays like Remy Martin played tonight, like, they are so tough because he brings that X factor, that spurt ability that Kansas has kind of lacked this year in Big 12 play. Like, whenever they have an off day, and most of their guys had an off day today. Ochai Agbaji, who's a first-team All-American, I think that's pretty easily said. Like, struggled tonight, only 2 of 8, 0 of 5 from 3. Like, that's not a typical first-team All-American game. You needed somebody to rebound and give you that spurt of offense. Man, was Remy able to do that, and he struggled with injury. He's been in the first class of Bill Self's doghouse for a good amount of time, especially towards the beginning of the year, trying to reverse engineer him and get him to play differently. But his spurt ability, his speed with the ball, he hit some tough shots whenever they were struggling. And without him, I mean, it could have gotten dicey. But here's the thing about Providence. It's hard to call it luck, but there have been times this season where they've struggled to score. And that's when Bynum has been their version of Remy Martin. Like, that's kind of these two teams. When you put them side by side, player for player, they actually matched up really, really well. I expected this game to be close because you got Justin Minaya, Ochai Agbaji, who, by the way, Justin Minaya defended his butt off tonight. That guy can really guard. I don't know if you guys played South Carolina while he was there, coach, or not, but that dude, he can sit down and get in a stance. He is really impressive on that end of the floor. It's a Kansas team, and Josh has had some big-time guards. Jose Alvarado is one of my favorite players to have ever played in the league. Having that guard who can take over a game, it changes things.
Well, yeah, and right now, T.O., Kansas, they're only the number 1 seed remaining, so you would say just by that, I mean, they're the favorite to win it all. But are they the best team of the ones remaining? I mean, of the remaining teams, who's to say? It'll be interesting in the Elite Eight game on Sunday versus Miami because of Charlie Moore. I think Charlie Moore, because he played at Kansas, it's in Chicago, it's in Chicago, and where Charlie Moore is from. So he's going to have a real chip on his shoulder in that game. So that will be interesting. But, look, how the game has changed, because as you said, like Remy Martin, the game he had, well, he's a transfer from Arizona State. And without the transfer portal, Kansas might not have, would not have had him, if that made sense. So the portal can help you and it can hurt you, because you can lose your best players. Because with Arizona State would be better with Remy Martin, but because of the portal, it allows you to leave. And obviously that doesn't help Arizona State, but it helps Kansas. And now Kansas is playing in the Elite Eight. And that's just how the game has changed. With this portal. And so you look at some different teams still remaining here. Brady Manick's a portal kid. Charlie Moore from Miami is a portal kid.
Cam McGusty.
Well, but at that time, I think he had to actually sit out. He was a transfer. He had to sit out. He came in before the portal was actually alive. So, you look around and how the portal has changed. You look at Iowa State, they get to the Sweet 16. Look at Providence. And so I say all that to say on Kansas, I think they're really good. They're obviously very well coached, and they have a realistic shot, to win the national championship. However, I think Miami's is a tough game. They're a tough out. They've got those guards. They're an older team. They're a veteran team. They're experienced. And I know we could probably do a whole nother show about the portal, but I think it's just showed you that the impact the portal has made in college basketball for the remaining teams, for all teams. And that might be the MVP is the portal for some of these teams. and how much that's changed, literally have changed college basketball. And it's not going backwards. That's how it's going to be moving forward.
Let me ask you this, Coach, because since we're on the subject of the portal, and we'll get to Miami and all that in a second, but how much is it if you take a senior transfer, a grad transfer? Like, how much is it? Am I going to reverse engineer what he's already been taught? Or do you take him in and you're like, well, I have to coach exactly what he is right now, and I just got to get out what I can out of him, because there's not a whole lot I can do with him over the course of 1 year, right?
Well, I'll give an example like Charlie Moore. I signed Charlie at Memphis. And that's how long he's been in college. When I was a head coach at Memphis, I signed him. He was coming to Memphis. And so a guy like himself, a guy like Remy Martin, these guys are older guys. And so, yes, you're not going to, the coach is going to be who the coach is. You're going to make some adjustments, maybe offensively or defensively. But the difference is the young man, the player, and this, T.O., coming in as an 18-year-old, compared to when you were a senior or even a fifth-year senior or a sixth-year senior for some of these guys, it's a totally different mentality. You understand things differently. You just have a different way about you. You're older. You're just tougher. You get it more. Things don't bother you as much. And so I just think the understanding of an older player, and that's why everyone's trying to get old and stay old. It doesn't mean they're going to be NBA players, but it means you have a better shot of winning college games. And so I don't think the coach has to adjust as much. I just think the player that's older, and this, Tio, if you were an older guy coming into another school and playing at older, you would just have a better feel of it and knowing what you're going into. And it wouldn't be, the first opening, the lifting and the shell drill and everything else wouldn't be new to you. And you would understand it. And I just think you see some of these teams really, getting the benefits of having a lot of older guys, other than Duke, who's young. But I mean, even Arkansas, how many transfers do they have? And it's just one of those things. And I think that's the way the game is moving towards.